There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We are live. It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Means it's time for the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley, and the man down there is the myth, the legend, the great Frankie Fresco. How you doing today, sir?
Sir, I'm doing great, man. The magician Triple H had me entertained last night.
He did, and we're going to dive into a lot of things going on in WWE. But again, our show is on Tuesdays. So I was not able to get and talk to Frankie Fresco about the all-important viewing of the CM Punk fiasco. Your thoughts on the AEW Dynamite last week?
Damn, we're jumping into that already? That's so
quick.
Right
now. Let's do it.
Well, on a personal note, I was very disappointed in AEW. I think AEW kind of dropped the ball. They basically went ahead and they are focusing on WWE more than their own product. And to go that far, that extreme, to show and talk about WWE in their programming goes to show you how desperate they're getting, in my opinion. I think they did a horrendous job when it came to that type of storyline that they did with the Young Bucks. I thought that was really bad.
But at least, can I jump? I'm gonna jump in real quick. I don't mean like cut you off, but I don't want to talk back and forth about everything. I want to say one thing though on that is at least they made it a storyline. I think where they went wrong is they made an announcement like it was going to be this big end all be all. Then that put expectations on it.
I think what they should have done. I think what they should have done is what similar to what we spoke about. That they should have brought in or incorporated some additional scene. Or I was even thinking about this. They could have gone ahead and say, hey, we're going to play the video. And then FTR jumps on them and cuts it and doesn't even allow the fans to see the video. Something that will not only have the fans tune into this show, but probably even have them tune into next week's show because they could still run with it. And then you keep the fans guessing. They're like, hey, what's going on?
The one thing, though, is what I thought was you don't make the announcement of it, though, right? And then you talk about, because the match was the Young Bucks against FTR at All in London. And with their little EVP thing and everything they were doing, I like the way they incorporated it, being like, but if they would have not announced they were going to show the footage, and if they came on and said, FTR, the only reason you beat us is because of the childish shit that was happening backstage. Watch this. And then they play the video. There's shock value there. But once they said we're playing the video, it just made people tune in to watch it. Like, at least if you do the shock value, and we're kind of talking the same things, but executing it a little bit differently. I think if you do the shock value, now you don't know what's going to happen. You tune in to see, I don't want to miss something next time. So when there is enough, because to me right now, anytime I hear AEW announcement, it's like the boy that cried wolf. It's a ratings ploy to me. That's the way I look at it. Oh, okay, they're trying to get ratings. And I don't know if you look at it the same way. Everybody in the chat, I don't know how you look at it. If you're watching this on X, we appreciate it. If you could jump over to our YouTube channels, Stanley Media House or Frankie Fresco, please hit the subscribe button and like, of course. But I felt that it was more of the ratings ploy there. And again, we're just going to cover Dynamite here real quick, encompass what happened there. I thought the Dustin Rhodes thing was another ratings ploy. Strike while the iron's hot. The Rhodes name is hot. Throw Dustin in there. Dynasty isn't until this weekend. You could have done that match this week. You didn't have to have Dustin do a promo on Saturday at Collision and then wrestle on Wednesday. I felt like they were trying to strike when the iron was hot there. And unfortunately, everything backfired on them because as soon as that video played, and again, I get it, ratings are not everything they're cracked up to be anymore, but theirs took a big hit once that video played.
Well, number one, I will say they should have left that for the last stuff of AEW for that show. I could understand why they made the announcement. Obviously, they want people to tune in. So I get that. I'm not going to knock them for making the announcement. I'm going to knock them for when they played it. They should have played it at the end of the show.
When you make an announcement, you put an expectation on it.
Of course. I'm getting
and
there.
That's to me is where they messed up.
But
There's nothing in that video. CM Punk went word by word what happened. And when you watch the video, it's the same thing.
Well, that's why when you and me were talking about this last week, we were saying they needed to spice it up some way, whether it was adding Jack Perry or doing something, or maybe even editing it, putting an extra video. Like maybe they could have gone ahead and shot a scene, I don't know, backstage. I mean, they could have done something in addition to just showing the video. They could have said, hey, maybe they could have gone ahead and done an after thing. You know, they do those little things. They could have done something before. I don't know, something. Maybe they could have added something with the same type of video quality or something like that, just showing them him having a discussion with Jack Perry or having a discussion with Tony Khan or something to make it more of a storyline instead of just showing what CM Punk said happened. And I think that's where they misfired. Then, like I said, they could have also gone ahead and just stopped it. I mean, I think this was the perfect time for them to bring back Jack Perry, which nobody likes. Jack Perry could have been the person that came in and probably gone ahead and say, yo, I don't want you to show the video. Or maybe he does. You know what they could have done? This is crazy. They could have gone ahead and started the video and then all of a sudden show like an effect where the video is getting invaded. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes Jack Perry showing up. And it brings more of a dramatic effect. You're like, holy crap, it's Jack Perry. I hate that guy. What the hell is that guy? So not only did he ruin CM Punk for me leaving AEW, but now he's ruining because he's not even letting me watch the video that I want to see. So something that just kind of spices it up. Again, you have your idea, I have mine. Yeah. But at the end of the day, just something that was different, something that brought something to the table. This didn't.
It didn't bring anything to the table for AEW and Tony Khan. The crowd was chanting CM Punk after it.
And then not only that, but you kind of got the vibe from the crowd that they were kind of like demoralized. Like they were like, what the hell is going on here? Like they were like, that's it. This is it. It felt wrong. Now FTR comes out. And then FTR basically said what a lot of us were thinking as well. Like, why the hell are they doing this? Why the hell are they doing that?
Yeah, it worked it into the angle that they were trying.
For them.
It worked into the angle for the Bucks and FTR.
But it lost the crowd. It lost because even when he was talking and addressing the crowd was not into it anymore. You couldn't hear the same cheers like before because you were like, what is it? You're showcasing something that happened with two wrestlers who are no longer, at least at the time, not in your wrestling organization. You understand me? So
not only that, but also you heard CM Punk talk about it the Monday before. And you watch the video and it's the same thing. And to me, I think again, a lot of people, I believe, thought, okay, this is AEW trying to say what CM Punk said wasn't accurate. But when you watched it, it proved it was pretty damn accurate.
And not only that, it also gives a bad
let me ask
name.
you something else, because I watched on X, there was a clip from Vince Russo, and he said, after I watched that and I said, okay, well, CM Punk said this happened, it happened. This happened, it happened. This happened, it happened. So now why am I not going to believe anything else CM Punk said about his time in AEW?
Yeah. And not only that, it also kind of made Tony Khan even look more of an ass, because he was freaking out saying that his life was on the line all that time. And in reality,
he jumped back and then he came out. I mean, he didn't ever go back. He like he said, I yelled at him, you clown, whatever it was. I quit, whatever it was. But you saw it play out right there on the thing.
Like you were expecting CM Punk to grab maybe the monitors and throw the monitors at him, or you were expecting him to like grab him from where he was sitting and pull him out. Something that would go ahead and justify his dramatic entrance. Yeah. Remember in Chicago where he was talking about, hey, my life was on the line.
And I was scared for my life, man.
He looked like an ass, because now you're looking at it and you're like, yo, like, you're full of it. And it gives a bad image again to AEW. And obviously you saw Tony Schiavone's reaction.
But Tony Schiavone said, and I watched his podcast that he does. And again, because my first take after watching the pictures and the stuff that came out was that, to me, it looked like he was like, oh, here we go again. I saw this play out before. What he said he was going along with the angle saying, Young Bucks, these assholes. That was the look that he was giving or trying to give off. I don't necessarily know that it came off that way. And again, I'm only going off pictures from X that people took and things like that. I didn't even notice it when it was going on. I'm not going to sit here and say I know anything. But also, to me, CM Punk kind of becomes a winner because it kind of says, hey, what you said is correct. The other winner in this whole thing is Jack Perry. Jack Perry goes to the New Japan Pro Wrestling Windy City Riot. It's in Chicago. He walks out with a Chicago flag. They're chanting scapegoat. His scapegoat shirts, all sizes, are sold out on his website the day after the video comes out. And in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's part of the house of oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Hold on. I wrote it down right here.
I don't know what that is. It's true. The House of
Terror, I think, or House of Torture. House of Torture in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they have a shirt that says "Cry Me a River," and it is the top seller for New Japan Pro Wrestling now. So Tony Khan has helped everybody else but his own company, and Tony Khan was in attendance at New Japan Pro Wrestling Windy City Riot because there was quite a few AEW talents on the card, and Jon Moxley became the New Japan Pro Wrestling champion. So,
well, maybe he wanted to give New Japan some help after he stole Okada and stole everybody. He's at Mercedes Moné. Everybody he's been pretty much taken away from New Japan Wrestling. Maybe he gave him a favor. Maybe he's like, here you go. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I did listen to Busted Open, and Busted Open was talking about it, and they were saying there were a couple things that they didn't like, and I agree with them. Number one was the location as to where the Young Bucks were addressing. It looked like they were in a freaking closet, not doing anything. You had like a back TV, and it just looked really bad. And it's true, like production, when you look at the production between AEW and WWE, it's a world of a difference. Like they don't even try in AEW, and it's disappointing. And the more and more I look at it, the more and more I want to believe what Eric Bischoff was saying or what he said a while ago, which is just a big indie show. That's what all it is. And then the other thing they were
steroids with money.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they were talking about, which I agree with them 100%, was the fact that they were saying, "Hey, look, it pretty much diminishes everything that Adam Copeland said the week before," which is like disappointing because he was fighting for AEW. He was saying everything, about wrestling and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden,
companies can be, the same, and then you go and pull this childish shit.
Yeah. So it didn't work, man. It was a epic failure for them. Now,
real quick, because I want to hit the chat. We got No Doubt in Cat for Life. Terry, my dad was in, and some others there. They asked, no doubt asked, did anyone else find Rhodes bleeding egregious? Egregious. Yeah. It was. I'm thinking he might have went to do it at the same time Joe kind of kicked him or something, because there was a big hole out of the side of his head. So I don't think that would have been on purpose, unless there was a spot I missed in the match where he hit something. But there was quite a big little chunk there that was missing. I did like, though, the way Dynamite started with Swerve attacking Joe on his way for the match. And then I thought the Copeland Penta match was fantastic.
It was very good.
It was fantastic to me.
I think if they would have just stay in your lane, AEW, the show would have been fine. Yeah. And if you want to go ahead and bring, that whole CM Punk angle, then you got to do a better job. That's all I'm asking from AEW. I still don't agree with them pushing, obviously, Dustin Rhodes for that fight, because we all knew he was going to lose. We spoke about this. We said there's no way he's going to win, especially since you had a contract signing the week before. So it just made no sense whatsoever to have that fight.
But they did switch it to a contenders match.
Yeah, but
so if he won, he just got a title shot at a different time, which to me would have been made more sense if the match was this week, because then supposedly he wins, then he gets a shot at Dynamite, the winner of Dynasty.
Or what you could have done? You do the thing that they've done multiple times, which is that little poker chip, and they do the poker chip where he could something.
Yeah, but I just don't think you want to have Dustin running around with the poker chip for a while.
You were trying to ride on the coattails of Cody. That's what AEW was.
It was the Rhodes. You wanted a Rhodes, and you're going for your title. It was a Rhodes going for the title.
So,
and to be honest, thinking about this right now, and I kind of said it. I was thinking it is, if Cody would have lost, Dustin probably would have won.
I don't think he's going to win either way.
I think he would have won. And then again, not for the title, but now he's in a contendership for a title, because at that point, Cody's not getting the title to be the Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been just a little, it was just riding on the curtails of the Rhodes name that week and what it was going on there.
The other thing we were going to talk about was obviously Will Ospreay addressing Triple H.
Yep.
So I brought this. I wrote this down because I wanted to see what Triple H said. So if you don't mind me, I'm going to read this. But what Triple H said was, when I see people
before you say something, before you go on with this, I thought it was petty of Will Ospreay until I reread what Triple H said. So go ahead.
All right. So this is only a portion. I don't know if it's all of it, but this is only a portion that I got here. It says, when I see people that came out of trying to make it and then they pick the job where they go, well, they work less. The schedule is lighter. All right. Then I'm glad I didn't get you, because if you're not in it for the grind at that point early in your career, you have no business being here. So I could understand Will Ospreay probably taking that personal, because obviously they were in talks between him and WWE.
And also, there's only two people in talks. And also, what you forgot, what wasn't said there, was that he said, just because you make it somewhere else, don't mean you can make it on the big time. Because again, I was looking at him talking, and to go on what I was saying before you read that, I was thinking he was talking about some of the others that left for the lighter schedule, maybe possibly wanting to come back now. So that's why at first I thought it was petty of Will Ospreay. Then after rereading and listening back, like what you just read there, kudos to Will Ospreay. Kudos. You deserve it right. He said, I spoke with every company. It was a personal decision because he has things going on in the UK, which I was unaware of at that time anyways. But he made them aware of the personal issues to why he needed to stay and travel back and forth in the UK. And of course, that's not going to work in a WWE schedule. So you're going to go to AEW. And kudos to Will Ospreay for what he said. I just hope you said what you had to say. Move on. Done.
Okay.
Done.
All right. Now, for me, I don't agree 100% with the way you're thinking about this. Number one, kudos for Will Ospreay if he took it in that form of fashion. My problem is this is not the right place and the right time to address it. And I'm going to tell you why. Again, this whole stay in your lane type of concept. You cannot keep bringing up WWE stuff in AEW. I go to an AEW event to watch AEW. I don't go over there to start hearing stuff of WWE. I'm sorry. That's not the mindset I want to have when I go to one of these shows. So if you're going to address Triple H, you could have addressed it on social media. You could have addressed it in one of those podcasts. You could have addressed it anywhere else but the show. This is the problem. Tony Khan is also kind of poking the bear and saying, yeah, go for it, man. Address it at AEW. And I think that's why Will Ospreay went ahead and did it.
Will Ospreay went to creative and sat down creative and wrote that promo.
Wrong. I'm sorry. Wrong from him on his behalf if he did that. Why? He should have never done that.
I mean, dude,
you don't
what are you
bring
gonna
that
do,
up.
dude? You look. There was two people because WWE was not even talking to Okada for some reason. Don't know why they weren't. They were talking to Mercedes Moné and they were talking to Will Ospreay. If you're going to come out and say that, listen, before everything went down, there was a personal situation with his family. And there was things that were going on to where he could not go and travel the way they needed to for WWE. He let them know that ahead of schedule. Triple H doesn't have to come out on a podcast and say, if you're afraid of the grind. There was only two people they're talking to, man. And Mercedes Moné has already been there.
Okay.
That was a straight shot at Will Ospreay because right now, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are your faces of AEW.
But did Triple H say that at a WWE event? He didn't.
He said it on the Pat McAfee show, which is WWE Central. I mean,
it's a Pat McAfee show, man. It's a Pat McAfee show. It's Ariel Helwani. Did you see CM Punk address Jack Perry and all that stuff at a WWE show? No, you saw it in an Ariel Helwani show.
Yeah, but again, WWE has nothing to lose. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. You want to know why?
For him to take 26 seconds of a 2-minute promo to fire shots back and then move on is okay. Now, doing the shit that they did with the CM Punk video and things like that, okay. You're giving them 5 minutes of your airtime. You gave them 26 seconds, and all you said was, bruv, I didn't have to sleep with, you slept with the boss's daughter to get to where you are. Well, that's what you said. That was your shot. Done.
He said, normally I wouldn't rise to this type of bait. But seeing as the guy who said it is only in the position he is because he was grinding on the boss's daughter, you are in no position to tell me what the grind is all about, my friend, because you have no idea what I fight for. Look, man, I understand him coming back at Triple H. You just don't do it in AEW Dynamite show. That's all. Why? Because you are, again, taking the whole aspect of AEW Dynamite, and it's just 26 seconds. 26 seconds. But you're taking that moment that is supposed to be AEW moment and putting, again, emphasis on WWE, which, if you're in AEW, who gives a flying crap about WWE? I am not in WWE, so why should I be addressing stuff about WWE? That's not what AEW Dynamite should be. And here is the issue with Tony Khan going ahead and having his stupid mindset of, hey, it's us against them, us against them. No, it isn't, man. They're far, far above you. And you just and you said it, Sean. If AEW would just focus on themselves and put as much emphasis that they do like they do in the ring when it comes to just their storylines and their whole productivity and how they do everything in their shows, AEW would grow. AEW would be not in a predicament where we're actually late during the shows. We're like, hey man, if they keep trending this way, they might go out of business. Somebody might buy them out or something might happen. Obviously, it might take a while because Tony Khan has money, but still, we're always addressing that. What's going to happen? Hey, you keep signing. I mean, there's 2 other guys that they're trying to sign right now who apparently are making it from TNA over to AEW. So why? You're making it, you're emphasizing, you're losing your crowd. There's AEW crowd and there's WWE crowd. There's AEW fans.
They've done this since it started, and it was cool back when everything was going good.
Because WWE wasn't good.
Now when it's not going good, it's like, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. Well,
correct.
I mean, again, they've been doing this the whole time.
But you reflect.
For 5 years, you've been doing the same thing.
But you reflect, Sean. It's like me.
Tony Khan is an emotional.
Yes.
Just like, I mean, come on, man.
Like what No Doubt said.
On anything. He looks in the mirror and probably just gets mad at himself.
I think No Doubt was the one who said it. Because I said, hey, Tony Khan is an ass. And he was like, no, he comes more across as a bitch. And I agree with him. I agree with 100%. He's petty, dude. In this
instance, he does.
Petty. Like, leave that crap alone, man. Like, you focus on your show. That's all you need to do, bro.
I've been saying that from the beginning, but everybody said it was cool to poke fun at WWE back in the day when, because the WWE product's not that good. Well, that was your chance to surpass. Now you're trying to what? Now you think you're going to make up ground now? Did you see what Collision did? Did you see Collision? And again, I know ratings don't matter, but my God, you started with 1 million viewers. 1 million viewers. And you finished with 216. 216 by the end of the main event.
Sad, man. Sad.
I mean, again, we talk about it week in and week out, and we probably beat the drum more than anybody else. You got to get people emotionally invested. And I like the fact that they're doing more stories now than they've done in a while. True. You've got Swerve and Samoa Joe. Very good story. You've got Lion Hook, which is terrible, but hey, at least it's a story.
Terrible story, bro.
Terrible story, but damn it, at least it's just at least there's something going on.
They're trying.
You've got Mercedes Moné, which I will tell you this much now: if she's cleared to wrestle, and you're doing this hokey shit with her, you deserve what you get. Because why are you having somebody attack her in the dark when you could set up a match for Destiny? If she can wrestle. And I don't know what the situation is because she's been physical, but when I think back at it, it was Julia Hart just standing there and took her finish and then powdered. Nobody's really went after her. So at least you've got a story with Monet and Willow and Julia and all there. Tony Storm. I like what they're doing there with Thunder Rosa. And then you got Deonna Purrazzo involved this week. And, kind of,
the Orange Cassidy
best friends thing. I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I want to see what they do with it because he whispers in Chris Statlander's ear in the back as he's walking out, and then she's kind of just looking like dumbfounded. What did he say? Yeah. At least they're doing some good.
Trying.
But damn it, stay. I agree with you to the extent that, hey, stay in your lane. But to me, look, if I went to 2 companies and I said, look, here's what Ospreay said, this is exact wording on the family situation. He said, Ospreay said in negotiation with both sides that Windsor wanted to stay in the UK with her family because she lost her husband in 2020 to a suicide. And he said he would do everything he could to have them stay in the UK where she had her family support. He said that everyone he negotiated with was aware of this and thus felt it was a real low blow to make that remark about him. And I agree with that. With that comment. Again, the problem I think you have with this whole situation is because before that or during that same show, they have given WWE 7 minutes of airtime already. And then he comes out and then he gives them another 26 seconds to a minute.
Probably,
more.
Yeah. Maybe I would.
Now it, if he would have just made that statement and that video didn't throw, it would have not made a difference.
I think so.
Now you've given almost 10 minutes of TV time to a company that doesn't need your 10 minutes. You needed those 10 minutes.
Did you see when the first time
I didn't even want to bring this conversation to this, man.
Oh, wait, but
this is all you're doing.
Did you see when CM Punk first made his way back to WWE? He took shots at AEW. I don't know if you noticed that, but he took a couple of shots at AEW, and he didn't get a reaction from the crowd. And what did CM Punk do? He dropped it. He's like,
yes, because that crowd is conditioned.
And not only that,
crowd's not. It's like,
and not only that, but he realized, hey, people don't give a damn what happened to me while I was in AEW. People care about what's happening right now in WWE. So that's what he focused on. That's what AEW needs to do. Stop it with the whole, WWE and all that stuff. Just focus on your stuff and do a better job with their production, man. You're getting smoked. You're getting smoked. And even
they're smoked. They're smoked.
And even with like some of the backstage stuff and some of the stuff that they do, it just seems low quality, man. It seems really, like they're not putting that much effort, man, and it's disappointing. That's all.
And then I saw some people, last night on X, and again, maybe I find it odd though that there was a few saying, "Oh, WWE stole that from AEW," and then I thought back and I was like, a lot of what AEW did at the beginning was more attitude-ish, ECW-ish than anything.
Yeah.
So how is WWE? I mean, again, they got this new executive producer. He's been with the Marvel era, and he was with ESPN, and you're seeing that, man. That interview with Chad Gable last night, the damn camera with Uso and going Sammy back and then following Sammy back out. Like, I mean, they are making it just feel bigger than what the hell it is, man. I mean, even like, dude, if you remember, okay, Jade Cargill making an entrance on AEW and Jade Cargill making an entrance on SmackDown and Raw, it just feels different, man.
It does. But even little tweaks, man, like for example, Zammy coming out first, then Chad Gable. Usually you have the champion come
out first.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was the challenger.
Usually your champion comes out first. But you know what? Some of that's changed now because the way like they do the walk-ins and then they do the introduction, so it doesn't really matter as much. But the champion used to be, or I stand corrected. It's the champion's prerogative back in the day. You could make your opponent come out and wait for you, which Flair did with Dusty Rhodes a couple times at like Starrcade, or you could come out and get the extravagant. So I guess, yeah, technically you could have it either way.
But again, different things, different scenarios.
Yep.
Coming out through the crowd. Zammy doesn't do that on a typical basis.
No, it was his hometown. It was his hometown, Montreal, and
again,
they went all in. They went all in to make that final 3 segments of the show make Sammy a star.
It just, again, and not only that, but then you also give him the liberty to show the love to the crowd. So you see him looking at the crowd saying, holy crap, all these people are here for me. You see somebody hand him a Canada flag, and he just took it and he ran with it. And that was somebody else's. That was a fan's flag out there. Just going out there and just soaking in the crowd and everything. Those things matter. And those things you don't see in AEW because they don't get it right. Every single time you see Jon Moxley walking through the crowd. The Blackpool Combat Club, usually when they were Moxie, all walking through the crowd. So it doesn't have that big wow factor like in WWE because you don't see it. Blood. We've always spoken about this. Dustin bleeding like crazy out there. Who cares about that? Cody starts bleeding. All of a sudden, you're like, holy crap, what's going on here? You make it bigger than what it actually is.
That's what Triple H said is just you do it at certain times. You just don't do it to do it. Do it to make it mean something. And that's where I think, and again, the way I look at it is that's kind of the indie mentality is blood brings money or violence, because it's the ECW way, right? You get violent, everything else in the crowd. Like, oh my God, this and that. Now you're bleeding and everybody's like, oh my goodness. And then
not only that, but come on,
cash
all of us who are wrestling fans, when we go on TikTok and when we go on X and when we go on Instagram, we see all these indies pop up in our feed because we're so in tune into wrestling. What do you guys usually see in these indie that show up? These guys throwing through tables, these guys flipping through glass, these guys going ahead and bleeding. That's what you always see in these indie shows because that's what you get. I'm pretty sure you get the same feeds that I do, and everybody in the chat probably gets the same thing because that's how the algorithms work in social media. So we're getting that same thing with AEW. You don't get that with WWE. And like what Cap for Life said, you sell it. You basically go ahead and you show it once in a blue moon. That way it looks cool. It looks, wow, I'm invested in it.
It means something. I mean,
it does.
That's the thing. It's like, and that's where I go back to, remember when we were talking about the whole, and we're going to slide into, and I'm going to transition now into what happened on SmackDown as I talk a little bit about what I'm going to talk about next. It's when you look at what they did with Cody, right? They beat him down. Rock beat him down. The Rock whooped his ass. The Rock, they even recorded after the show for The Rock's personal social media. And my whole time was, Cody's got to get the payoff on this now, because it doesn't make sense to just beat him down, and not give him the payoff. Now, I'm not saying he was going to win the tag team match, but the title I felt was going to Cody because with that much buildup and that much adversity, he's going to win it. It's almost like when we were talking about the Sami Zayn thing. He was such an underdog. It was like, I think this is the night. This is the night. They've done everything they can to beat him down to where you don't think he's going to win. And if you follow wrestling long enough, you start listening to storylines and how things go, you're like, no, it's there. They're telling you what's going to happen in a way, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's one of those things. Now I want to get into the next thing, and this happened on SmackDown. And I want to ask you, man, because I said, man, no Rock, no Roman Reigns. SmackDown's going to be a little troublesome now. The first thing you see as SmackDown comes on, it's Jimmy and Solo and Paul Heyman walk into their locker room. They look at the door. American Nightmare, nice and big on the champion's door. And then Kevin Owens walks by and he's like, hey, the closet's over there. I'm wondering if that's a shot at AEW and the Bucks.
That could be. But
now that we talked about it, hey, you never know. But so then, Paul Heyman is talking to them and he says winning and losing have repercussions. There's consequences. And by orders of the tribal chief, we got to get the title back. Solo says, I'll handle him and I'll handle it. And they leave for a while. And then they come out to the ring. Paul Heyman's talking and he says, by the order of the tribal chief, and he gets cut off by Solo. And he says, winning and losing has consequences. And Paul Heyman's thinking, oh, I'm done, man. I'm a done man. I'm a pop turkey. And then he slides Paul Heyman to the side and he looks at Jimmy. Jimmy starts getting all big and bad, like, how you coming at me, this and that. Solo just leans in, man, dude. Gives him the hug. You're my brother. I love you. Lets him go. Looks at him for a minute.
Judas.
Turns his back to him, and I'm thinking, oh, here comes the spike. Here comes the spike. No. That is how you debut Tama Tonga. And the best thing about it is they used Tama Tonga. They didn't change his name to Usi Fatu or something. Tama Tonga. You hear the announcers. It's Corey Graves and they're like, that's Tama Tonga. That's Haku's son. And they're building it up and he's just kicking the shit out of Jimmy Uso, I'm sorry. And it's like, man, the bloodline stories, yes, the story with Cody Rhodes part might be over, but God, man. That's like, and then you go back to the back afterwards. Paul Heyman walks out of the trainer's room and he's like, Jimmy's messed up. Jimmy's messed up. And then, boom, Tama Tonga right there. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he goes, by orders of the tribal chief. And he backs up. Solo walks in with his thumb, smirks at Paul Heyman, and he walks away. And Paul Heyman's like, what the hell is this? What the hell is going on? And the other part I forgot, while in the ring, good old Paul Heyman hops on the phone. Call Roman. Solo grabs the phone, throws it down, and steps on it. So, with that being said, and everybody in the chat, and you're watching on X, is there a new tribal chief? Or was that under orders of Roman Reigns? I asked you, Frankie Fresco.
Well, before I answer that question, I do want to tell you something. When Paul Heyman was out there and Solo went to say, there's consequences for losing, I honestly thought that he was referring to Roman Reigns. And I kind of thought at that point in time, he was going to try to say if I could take over the whole bloodline. That was my initial reaction to it. I love the fact when he moved Paul Heyman out of the way and then looked at Jimmy. That I wasn't expecting.
You say it all the time. Little things mean a lot.
That caught me off guard. That was the only thing. Now, talking to answer your question, I do feel it still is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is calling the shots. I think Roman Reigns is still gonna be away from the WWE for a couple. We know that he's gonna be away for a couple months, but they're still doing what they've done so well, which is keep his name relevant while he's not on the show.
Yeah.
So now when he gets to a show and he's there, maybe things might turn. But as of right now, them throwing all these things saying, hey, look, tribal chief went ahead and made the call, made it and all that stuff. I'm getting the vibes that Roman Reigns is still part of the bloodline, but maybe Mr. Paul Heyman is on his way out. That's what I'm getting.
And I did find it funny because Paul Heyman, when he went to do the chair in the corner, again, they put the cameras perfectly so you can hear a microphone with Paul Heyman, and he's like, this is not what the tribal chief wants. This is not what the tribal chief wants. And then he runs in and nails the chair. And see, the way I'm looking at this is, so now Jimmy's out and he'll probably be gone for a little while. So I want to see, let me watch the next SmackDown and see where it goes. But I feel, because again, and was it Mimo says Solo will be temporary until Roman comes back. The interesting thing was, and again, I forget until people like retweet and stitch things and everything else. Roman said that one time. Remember, Jimmy thought that Roman was going to give him the next in line, and he said, no, the heir apparent is your brother Solo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going back and showing things to where it's like, okay. And then also, if you remember when Jimmy and Jay were fighting against Solo and Roman, Jimmy and Jay both said the person who should be in charge of the bloodline is Solo. And then Roman started laughing, and then Solo looked at him, and then he kind of got serious again. So a couple of those things that happened where, again, when you're looking at this thing as a story, like how many more layers are we going through, man?
And I think I'm looking at it as well as like before. Remember, Paul Heyman was like the middleman. He was the one who was giving the information to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns would give him the information and all that stuff. Based on how they're selling it now, it looks like Roman is not keeping Paul Heyman in tune with what they're doing. He's saying this information to Solo and to Tama Tonga, I guess. So there's two aspects of this. Number one, either Solo and Tama Tonga are taking it in their hands and saying, screw Roman Reigns, we're going to screw him over. We're the ones making these calls without and just saying that it is the tribal chief. Or number two, Roman is saying, hey, Paul Heyman, you're out. And now all of a sudden is the bloodline. And the reason I feel like it's more that aspect is because at the end of WrestleMania, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns were giving each other a huge hug.
The hugs at the top of the ramp. Yep.
And I think that was a sign of them saying, of Roman saying, I'm done with this guy. I have to move on because now I've lost and it's time for me to leave. You're not part of the crew. You're not part of the bloodline. And I think that's where they're going to go with this angle. I think that's where Paul Heyman will have to move on and now find out who Paul Heyman will have to team up with or be their manager in order for, Paul Heyman to still stay relevant, which again, I don't see it with Cody. I don't know why. I think that's probably the first assumption that a lot of people are going to have. Hey, Cody Rhodes. No, Braun Breaker could be another one.
Actually.
That could be, but the only difference is that, Paul Heyman does jump from Monday Night.
Needs him or anything. But there's a history there. You know what I'm saying? Like
good one, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, I think this whole thing's leading to is the Civil War and the bloodline.
Could be.
And I think ultimately it's going to be The Rock calling the shots as tribal chief while Roman Reigns is out. And what's going to be interesting too, and now this will lead into my next thing. Cody Rhodes last night cuts a promo, brings out main event Jey Uso right before his match, and he says, until we yeet again. And then they both did the yeet. It sounded like he's leaving Raw. He's heading to SmackDown to be there full time. Does that figure in anywhere into Solo, Tama Tonga? What's next for them on SmackDown? Because now Cody's going to be there full time. And then you've got, I get it. It's Solo. It's Tama Tonga. It's going to be Jimmy, I'm guessing, when he comes back. Because Roman's going to be gone for a little while. Rock's gone for a little while. So there's got to be something going on there. And then you got the draft coming up also the 26th and 29th. So things might change up there. And we'll go. Because the other question I had was, if Cody leaves Raw, and I get it, it's only for a couple weeks, but can Raw still be the same with Sammy and Jay as the faces of Raw now?
It's a little bit hard because obviously Seth Rollins is out too.
Yeah.
So that, if Seth was still around, I would easily answer your question and be like, yeah, they can handle it because Seth Rollins is around. But he's not right now, so I don't know the time frame as to when he's coming. I haven't looked it up to see when his timetable is going to be to come back. But I do feel that they're going to do a couple of shakeups when it comes to the draft. I do feel that we're going to see some big moves of some of the people going out from one side to the other. And I think one of the first ones that's going to be moved into the Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, will be LA Knight. I think LA Knight needs to go to Raw. I think I don't see LA Knight beating AJ Styles, unfortunately. Yeah. I really honestly feel
I just don't think twice in a row. I think LA Knight got the rub at WrestleMania in the big moment. And again, it might be a cheating thing or something. I can see it where AJ cheats him because I just don't see Cody's first defense. And I told you this a while ago. I just don't see it against LA Knight. That's something that you build up more than just a couple weeks, and now that's an AJ Styles, unfortunately, an AJ Styles position, because I feel like the LA Knight Cody, there needs to be a story there. Yeah. Whereas AJ, you can kind of plug and play because he's been a champion. So the story is he's trying to regain a championship. That's the easy story for any former champion. He's trying to regain what he lost.
And I feel that in the Monday night, I think we're going to keep Damian Priest on Monday night. So I think eventually you could lead up a match between Damian Priest and LA Knight in the long run. So I really honestly feel that LA Knight is going to be moving over to Raw. In my opinion.
Other thing too is that's interesting is they're going to confer with CW and with USA, basically. They're not really going to necessarily confer with Netflix on this go around because the contract thing won't really happen until the following draft. That would affect the Netflix thing. So Netflix will have some say in it, but it can always change with them there. So the other thing is, how many people go to NXT? Do they make NXT a bigger, again, because Triple H has always wanted NXT. When he was there, he wanted it to be the gold brand. His vision was NXT being its own standalone brand. And it's never happened that way. But now he's in charge. So does he try to do that? Because look, when you look at the top of the NXT, and if you threw a couple of names over there from the WWE roster, it's not that bad of a roster.
I think that's what they're going to continue to do.
And then now you've got 3 brands torn.
But I think that's what they're going to continue to do. Like the Good Brothers are out there a couple times.
No. But I mean, actually physically move them to make it a brand. Not you're there for 3 months while you rehab an injury and work on some things, and then we bring you back.
I'm going to tell you,
build you back up. I mean, do they make Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Ilja, which I think they've already said Ilja's moving over to Raw and SmackDown, and probably so is, again, it's going to be interesting to see on the draft how they work the NXT aspect, because that's going to tell you a lot. If they move some names to NXT, then maybe Triple H will work on what he's always wanted to. When he had Adam Cole, the Undisputed Era, Keith Lee, all those guys there at that time, Andrade, Pac, when you looked at all those guys that were there, he wanted that to be a touring brand. He was like, we have a touring brand, but Vince didn't want that. Vince was always like, no, that's developmental. And Triple H is like, you don't know what you have.
I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't feel that they're going to become their own separate brand until you don't start seeing them have their Tuesday shows, whether it's CW eventually after they move, outside of the practice facility that they have in Orlando. Once you start seeing them move those shows out of Orlando, then yes, I do believe NXT will be their own separate. In the meantime, as long as they're in Orlando and they're still having those regular shows at that small arena, that practice facility that they have, I don't see NXT being as big or getting able to compete or even be getting close to Raw and SmackDown. That's why I always see NXT as the third one, the lower tier one.
Oh, no, yeah, it's always going to be the lower one. And again, I'm not saying they're going to move Cody Rhodes to NXT or any of the big name guys. What I mean is more of maybe some of the guys that have made names, your Chad Gables, him going to NXT now. I'm using Chad Gable as, I know he's got the heel turn going and everything else there, but I'm using that name because it's somebody that everybody can look at and be like, okay,
he's been there before.
He's not the main event guy, but he's not, like the low guy. He's a guy that's got a name to where he could, him against Trick Williams, him against Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, but you rather see those matches in Raw or SmackDown. That's the problem.
But if you're going to make that a brand, you want people to want to see it at NXT.
That's why I don't think
what I'm saying. So
I don't say it that way. I see them bringing in like the decent guys, the Good Brothers, the people that they brought before, like Chad Gable's friends, the Alpha Academy. What is his name? Tajawa and Otis. You brought them there. I feel like those people are gonna be that could move over there. People who are not as big relevant right now in the storyline over to there. I don't see
but
them.
Again, that's keeping it as a developmental and using those guys to.
I think that's what they're gonna keep doing.
Talent over there. If they're doing that, then that's one thing. But the one thing Triple H has always said, and he's never had the power to, is he's always wanted NXT to be a third brand.
But that's exactly, you just said a key word, power. And now he is running the show. So now he realizes that although my train of thought was I want NXT to be their own brand, he's also come to mind saying, hey, look, Raw and SmackDown's in a different category than NXT.
Oh, no, they're
elevate
different, but also to go with against that, when they have the big four, your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams, the Royal Rumble, and all that. NXT usually does a pay-per-view the Saturday before that, and they have sold out each one. So I'm not going to sit here and say that again, it's going to be a touring brand. But if you went to a couple smaller, arenas and you ran those arenas smaller, leave for a little bit from the NXT studios and you do it smaller venues and see how it sells, you could make that into a brand. It's not going to be Raw. It's not going to be SmackDown. But again, it gives you, and this is where I'll say, this is where, because everybody goes, oh, AEW gives you a different aspect of wrestling. So what did WWE do? We'll give you WWE speed. 3 minutes of just nonstop action. There you go. Flying, doing everything, no storytelling. There's your wrestling. And everybody's like, oh, okay, so there's guys that can do it. It'll give everybody another alternative to what you see on Mondays and Fridays.
But that's what it's already doing, NXT. It's giving you an alternative to what you see Mondays and Fridays. I think until you don't see NXT getting involved in WrestleMania, like actual NXT fighters wrestling in WrestleMania or in some of the bigger events, and I'm not saying like, hey, like who not wrestlers that made the move from NXT to Raw or to SmackDown. I'm talking about like a Trick Williams
having them coexist with
exactly
the NXT heavyweight title being defended. It's
like for example the main event, a triple threat match. You got Cody versus Roman versus Trick Williams, and Trick is still in NXT, something like that. Then I would go ahead and be like, yo, they want to go that route. They want to go the NXT making it. And again, it doesn't have to be WrestleMania main event. I'm talking about just incorporating it.
A lot of the thing is done is I don't see them leaving the NXT studios that much. And I don't know what the deal is they made with they're on the grounds of what's the studio house that's there? Oh my, Full Sail. They made a deal with Full Sail where Full Sail, the people operating their cameras and things like that are the students.
That's cool.
They're not, I don't think they're doing a lot of, like, they worked out a deal to where, yeah, we do a production, we do a TV show, cool. And your students can work on that show.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was part of the deal before. Again, I don't know if that's all changed or anything. That was the original basis of them doing it there. And then they took up that whole complex. It became basically NXT University, where they've got the rings, they've got the gym, they've got a facility, they've got the sound stage. They've got all that there. So, again, will they leave there? I don't know. But would be interesting to see is if they did, more pay-per-views. If we know Backlash is hard because that's in France. But the next one that's here locally, if they do another venue and throw, NXT on before that, I don't know that there's going to be a change there. Is what I'm saying is, again, you got to do it slowly too. You can't just, and again, I don't know what the deal is with the NXT studios and Full Sail in there, but I mean, if that's a place where you can do your production and not pay a whole lot, it would make more sense to do it there than to travel just to say you have a brand.
Yeah. I mean, I had not seen, so if you look at NXT guys, you'll see that they always show the ring and then you see the people in the back, right? You had never seen the front, and I had never seen that. And then somebody, I think it was NXT, I don't know if it was NXT or was it just somebody who actually put a photo of the opposite side, and there's literally no seats. It's just a wall, and that's exactly where they have, and you never see it. I thought there was actually seats back there where people could actually sit down and watch, but no.
No, it's like an L. It's like an L type thing in a way. I guess it's safe. It goes around where the announcers sit, and then back there, and then they got the balcony.
The good point, because on the left-hand side, when they're walking in on the entrance, it's only like a little section, like a very, very small section where people are actually sitting there as well. So you're absolutely right. So again, I don't know what their deal is as what you said, but on a positive note, I think they could grow it, but not to that extreme. Because look, they did bring Becky Lynch at one point in time, and the numbers did do pretty well over there in NXT, but nothing to the extreme of like Monday Night Raw or obviously.
No, but again, I mean, and I'm going to be all serious here. Not a lot of shows that are, again, I mess with the AEW number and all that stuff there too. It takes a while to get, and it takes a while to hit that many people to consistently keep coming back to be casual fans of the show. I mean, you're asking, 1.5s, 1.7s, things like that. I mean, again,
and you got back-to-back days of wrestling too. You got Monday, and then you all of a sudden do you want to watch
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's wrestling every day.
Yeah,
of some
Saturday.
sort. And Saturday you got Collision, and then if you throw pay-per-views, you could have Saturday and Sunday on there, and then plus all the New Japans. You got MLW, you got TNA, you've got NWA, you've got all these things that are on. I mean, there's wrestling all over the place. It's almost now like again, when we talk about the ratings going down, because you can stream anything now. If you have Fight TV, you can get almost a pay-per-view every night.
Yeah,
so some wrestling somewhere.
But now, if we jump to Monday night, right? If we jump to Monday night, one thing I did not like, and I think Memo brought them up as well, was the fact that those World Tag Team belts look horrendous, bro.
I like them. I just don't like the red in them.
The red. That's all they did to it. They added red on them. That's all they did.
They didn't. That's that. No, yes, man. The old belts to the new belts.
Those belts. That red looks horrible.
The old belts were like a recycling, like a badge on some leather.
Those tag team belts look horrible, man. They're not. They don't look that nice. Hold on. Let me see if I could pull up a photo here to show you guys what I'm talking about here. They look horrible, man. They look like
they're a little gawky, but they're whatever. What do you want to do?
They look bad. They don't look good. I don't. Man, maybe I could share this. Can I share this with you guys?
We got DeTrapio joined us now, and Steven Gonzalez. And thanks, guys.
Hold on.
Appreciate Cap for Life, everybody. Appreciate all of you guys and gals that are watching on X or wherever you are. Don't forget, you can jump over to our YouTube channels, be a part of the chat. Also on X, I believe if you can get in on the chat as well there. If you put a message, we'll see it here. We can read it out on air.
All right. So this is the picture right here. Sorry, I'm trying to show it. How does it? It looks pretty bad, but hold on. Let me try to make it bigger. All right, here we go. Sorry, whoever is wrestling news sources, thank you so much for having this photo. But look at it right here, man. That looks horrible, man. World Tag Team, and look at this background right here, man. It looks like a crumbled up, crunch. The chocolate crunch. It looks like that. That's what it looks like. It looks terrible, man. I don't like it. It looks terrible.
I mean, what do you want? What do you want them to be? They're the tag team titles. They're not the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, but it looks terrible.
What are we trying to do here?
And look at the world tag team belts. If you look at them at the other one, it doesn't. Oh, man.
The other ones were a piece of leather.
Okay, but
it looked like some kid made it with and stapled some badges to it.
Look at the tag team one up here. You see the tag team one? The tag team one looks good.
Where's the tag team one up there?
I'm sorry, the world heavyweight one. There's the world heavyweight
champ. That one looks. That's Seth Rollins belt. That's Damian Priest's belt.
That one looks nice, but then you got this. You got this crap back here, bro. They didn't even make the W even big enough. They made the red look even bigger. Those belts look horrible, man. Sorry, man. I'm not liking it. I think it's ugly.
Whatever, man. You're just never happy, buddy. You're never happy. God damn, you messed up my screen again.
I like messing up your screen from time to time. But yeah, no, I don't like it.
Look, man, if you're gonna be, just calm down, Tony. Calm down.
No doubt. How are you gonna say that you like those belts?
Yes, I do too.
That ugly red on it.
I don't like is the red on them. Can we get away from red and blue? Because then
that's gonna happen with
R-Truth and Awesome Truth gets drafted to SmackDown. What are they gonna do? Another one of those things where here's my belt, give me your belt?
Wait, the Trapper is saying that they look like the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Is that true, or is he just talking crap?
Well, it might be maybe the old. I don't know what the new ones look like. I mean, I think that's the only belt that hasn't been defended on AEW Dynamite, right? Well, the Undisputed Kingdom carry him to the ring all the time.
The Ring of Honor belts look way better than that than those actually.
They're very plain. The Ring of Honor belts, if I remember, are pretty plain. I mean, they're solid, but they're just plain.
I don't like those belts. I think those belts look bad.
Whatever, buddy. Whatever. I mean,
they look terrible. But I did like the Magician Triple H and how
I love it.
R-Truth said, I get
Tommaso
you,
Ciampa.
Tommaso. Oh, then Tommaso Ciampa does kind of look like him, like the Kabuki
Oh no,
Tommaso Ciampa.
it's great. I even tweeted out afterwards. I was like, "Oh, look at that! R-Truth finally going to get to wrestle his Triple H."
There you go. And then they win.
Yeah,
To
they
make
won.
it-
They're gonna fight at the France at the pay-per-view in France.
But now let's talk about something more serious. And they've been talking about it. I see it in the chat. Talk to me about Rhea Ripley, sir. Talk to me about
Rhea Ripley, not Rita.
Oh, Rhea Ripley, think crap.
Yeah, no, it's not. Rita and Rhea are two different things.
Rhea Ripley
It's not Margarita.
and Margarita.
Yeah, that's Margarita. It's not Margarita.
If you're trying to correct me on this stuff, then don't come at me because I'm trying to tell you that those tag team belts suck. Okay, I'm just telling you the truth.
The only thing bad about him is the red on him. The red is the bad part about him.
Mr. Tony Khan nitpicking on my my
No,
pronunciation.
Rhea Ripley doesn't wrestle. There's no Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea, okay.
It's not even close. It's not like you spelled Sean wrong. You're not even talking about Sean. I mean, Rita and Rhea are two different names.
You could spell Sean differently instead of
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you said my name and you spelled it S-H-A-W-N. I'll be okay with that.
You would?
Because my name is Sean. I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'll be okay because my name's Sean. You didn't call me John.
You say Mimo all the time, and his real name is Memo.
Well, that's because you told me to keep doing it.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You told me to keep calling him Memo because he was upset about it.
No, I did not say that. I said
so from now on, it's Memo. Got it.
No, you got to say Memo. That's
Memo.
I told you to keep saying it.
Memo. I apologize. I will not follow this guy anymore.
Funny.
I apologize to you, DJ Memo. I acknowledge you.
Mimo, don't worry, Mimo. If he calls you Memo, I'm gonna start calling you Mimo. I just like him calling you Mimo, so that's why I was like, keep calling him that, and I'll call him Memo. But anyways, we went off track there. But anyway, so talk to me. What's going on with this Rhea Ripley situation?
Well, apparently, it was a freak thing. When she took the wall shot, she hit it, and the AC joint, is it called? The AC joint in her shoulder basically popped out with her collarbone. And so she's going to be out now. She's going to be sidelined. And it wasn't anything it was just the way she hit the wall. When
I watched the replay and I saw that.
Yeah, I noticed it there. And but yeah, it sucks, man. And then I saw so many people like, oh, you should have had just Liv Morgan, just jobber and pinner. That's what you would do with everybody else. But you just spent almost, I think it was 380 days. Rhea Ripley was just the champ. At least now you have more of a storyline, because I have to believe, this is my honest opinion, that whatever the tournament or whatever they're going to do, somehow Liv Morgan's going to win it.
Who will she be wrestling against for it, though?
See, the drafting throws me off here. Because do they do it to where it's before the draft? Or do they do the after the draft, and then you could throw, because the name that keeps coming up to me, there's one name right now, and that's Bianca Belair.
The name, I was thinking the same thing. Jade Cargo.
I was not thinking
That's who
Jade
I was
yet.
thinking.
I was not thinking Jade.
Jade Cargo,
here's
baby.
Here's my thing. I thought at some point, Jade and Bianca are going to become the tag team champions, I believe.
Split them.
I believe they're going to become the tag team champions. Now, here's the thing. At one point, I think Bianca or Jade will get a chance to go for the heavyweight title. And then the other one, it'll be the whole jealousy thing of you're going to go put your needs ahead of the team's needs. And then that's going to be the rift between the two. So I just don't know that you do that with Jade right now, man.
I think you do an audible, maybe. You do an audible just like what they did with Cody.
Here's the thing is
audibles.
If she's not going to need surgery, I think she said a few months, so she's out 3 months, maybe.
No, well, they said that she was going to need, I think, surgery, and she's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks, and then it's going to be 3 months to recover. So it's a total like 4 months in total.
Okay, so 4 months. So if you had 1 month of the tournament, to crown the champion. Now you're at 3 months. If Liv does win it, now you're at 2 months. And then you have Rhea come back and the Rhea Ripley Revenge Tour, the RRRT, instead of the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. And then Rhea becomes the champion once again.
There's only two people, in my opinion, that could become champions in that with that Monday Night Raw belt. And that is Jade Cargill or the return of Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's going to be back that. I mean, she's ready to go, but brother, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just
you bring
the
her
other
on.
thing too is this is the other question I have. You're talking about moving all these people to Raw. You do understand that come October, Raw won't have a home. SmackDown switches over to USA.
Yeah, but you're making it seem like
Raw does not have a home though, because Netflix doesn't start until March.
Yeah, but you got to keep somebody relevant with that belt. I don't think Liv
I'm not
Morgan.
saying you don't, but what I'm saying though is if you're moving all these people to Raw,
all these people, we've been talking about all these people. You just finished saying that Cody went to SmackDown, which makes sense. You have the whole bloodline
title, but
you got Bayley over there.
Jade is on SmackDown. You're moving her to Raw to win the title.
That's why I said it, one of the two. So if you don't give it to Jade, then it would make sense for Charlotte Flair to stay in to go to Raw, and then Jade still stays in SmackDown.
Yeah, see, I just think if you do that, you're rushing one of the two obvious matches Jade's going to get. Jade against Bianca and Jade versus Rhea Ripley.
You don't want to see Jade versus Charlotte Flair?
I'm not saying that I don't want to see it. What I'm saying is I think those are the two matches right now that would be where you're trying to get Jade Cargill too. Ultimately against Charlotte, yes, but right now Charlotte's on the bench.
I prefer
come back and return to what she is. I don't know.
I
Rhea
prefer
Ripley's a shoulder. Not an ACL.
We know that Jade versus Bianca is number one, but you're telling me number two, Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill? No, I say Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill is number two. That's the second most anticipated fight that people want to see.
No,
absolutely,
no
absolutely,
no way,
absolutely.
No
if the chat
way.
agrees with me, put it on the chat, guys. If you agree with me, yes, that is the second best because Charlotte has always been known.
Jade versus Charlotte, then Jade versus Rhea,
dude. When Jade Cargill was ahead,
man.
When Jade Cargill was going around parading herself, there was a point. Did you forget that she went in front of Charlotte Flair as well? And Charlotte Flair looked at her.
I'm not saying that's not going to be a good match.
I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. Rhea Ripley. It's way better than Rhea Ripley right now. Than Rhea Ripley. Oh. Now you got me mispronouncing my.
Oh my goodness, buddy. Okay, all right. Hey, to each
guys, you don't agree with me. You don't agree that So number one fight obviously is Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We already know that. But the second most anticipated fight for Jade Cargill, you're gonna say is Rhea Ripley. I think it's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is she's proven herself. She's known as the best one out there, and you haven't seen it. How are you not gonna go ahead and compare, the Storm versus literally the Flair? The one who's always called herself the Queen. The Storm versus the Queen? Are you kidding me?
Come on, man. Really?
Are you kidding me?
Mommy versus the Queen? Mommy versus the Queen isn't
you're making it seem like Mommy right now, like she's if she was in the same roster with Charlotte Flair, that she would be above Charlotte Flair. I don't think so. I think the reason that Rhea gets so much right now is because she's with the Judgment Day. But if you remove Rhea out of the Judgment Day, Charlotte's still way bigger.
By beating Charlotte Flair?
Huh?
She started this reign by beating Charlotte Flair.
Correct. Because Charlotte Flair was bigger than her. And she still is.
But Mommy has... Dude, come on. You're going to tell me Jade versus Mommy. You've already seen... whatever, bro. Whatever. Oh, yes. Okay, fine.
I mean, we'll agree to disagree.
Because all three of those matches will be good. To me, the money match ultimately is... Jade and Bianca, I can see happening soon.
No.
But the other money match would be Jade against Rhea Ripley.
At least we both agree it's not Jade versus Becky Lynch.
No. And it's not Jade against Nia. And it's not Jade against. Look, man, it's one of those things, bro. Jade has that look, and I said in AEW, she has that look of it. She has it. Just looking at her, you're like, okay, she's got a body. She's getting a little bit better on the microphone. Still working on some things. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. But ultimately, I mean, in the ring, it's her against Bianca because what it could mean, and and then her against Mommy is the money.
You want to know something? Cap for Life mentioned somebody that I personally, with all due respect, but I never believed their hype. Zoe Starks, but Zoe Starks. But I will say something. Another person who might be able to hold that belt on the Monday night area, give it to her, man. My girl, Tiffy time, baby. Tiffany Stratton, baby. Tiffy time, baby. You bring her over there to Monday night as well.
You just don't watch. You don't watch the shows, do you? You don't watch.
Tiffy time, baby.
You just had her lose to Naomi, so Naomi.
They're 1-1.
Could go wrestle Bailey.
They're 1-1.
Now,
They're 1-1.
Let's flip her over and.
Do you get upset at me because I like to pick the female wrestlers that I like? I mean, it's the truth. I mean, Tiffy time is one of the best out there, bro. Give her a belt, maybe. Give her a belt. She deserved it. It's Tiffy time, baby. Tiffy time. I love getting you mad, Sean. I love it. I love it. Tiffy time.
No, but it is interesting though when you look back through it all and say, because I remember the title. I think even WWE sent it out. I was like, who do you think should be the next women's champion? And when you look at it, it's like
it's a little bit short right now.
It's a little short, but when you also look at it though, it's like you said, Tiffany Stratton. Do you give her that push now? I get that what happened there, but then you've got Shayna Baszler at the time. Her Zoe Stark was mentioned here a couple times. Again, it's
Trish Stratus could come back.
Stratus could come back. I mean, she said she's got some more left in her at the WrestleMania thing. I mean, I know CM Punk has always said AJ Lee won't come back, and I saw it mentioned there. I mean, it's one of those things to where, again, we think along the lines of storylines. To me, Liv Morgan would be the obvious choice. But the question then goes,
and her against Becky, because then that's the only members they had that feud.
Yeah. Well, but then the question goes, does she stay on Raw? Again, the draft changes a lot, man.
Yeah, that's
because
the cool thing.
Then in 3 or 4 months, if Liv is on Raw and Judgment Day's on SmackDown, does Rhea Ripley come back to Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Or does she go back her own way? No, because I think Judgment Day is going to look a lot different real soon.
Could be.
Because you saw last night what happened. Damian Priest kind of takes charge because he's the champion now, right?
Yeah.
Dom, go take care of the problem with Andrade. McDonough, go second him. And then what does Finn Balor say? Hey, you've got me in a match with Jey Uso. Why?
Yep.
Just you go do your thing. It's almost that thing where like he's going to use Finn Balor until Finn Balor breaks. And then Finn Balor's going to go for the title.
Maybe, but keep in mind, Finn Balor.
I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow now, but I said down the line, this is going to build up. Because now, again, every competitor for Damian Priest, he's going to line up to have to face Finn Balor first. Like he's going to use Finn Balor to be that guy.
We don't know that. Because he could definitely, if you start seeing that trend, yes. But maybe he could still use JD McDonough. He could still use Dominic Mysterio. He could use any of those guys, to be honest with you.
Yes, he could. But I think the point's being made of him using Finn Balor. That's where I'm leaning toward.
I know that has a good point. You know what? You keep that Judgment Day intact, and you bring the wise men to run the Judgment Day. I like it.
You know what? That would be interesting because none of them are necessarily Paul Heyman guys.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. Although I think Finn is I think he's been linked to Heyman a little bit there.
And you could set that up eventually down the line. Judgment Day versus
you know what? Cat for Life
Survivor
threw out
Series.
a name too, by the way, which Nikita Lyons.
Yeah.
She keeps getting hurt though. I don't know what her issue is. I think she's got a leg injury again. But man, she's impressive. And then, like you said, Tiffany Stratton there. Do you bring up Roxanne Perez? You've got
Nah.
Ira Valkyrie or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
down
Valkyrie.
there.
You keep those in the next.
There's some competition on NXT as well too that you could, move
Roxanne
up.
Roxanne Perez wasn't bad, but I think you keep her in NXT, especially since she's.
No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I'm just saying, but when you look at it, who could be the champion?
Like the
it
next
all depends on what you're going to do. Are you going to keep it as a storyline driven? Because storyline driven, the whole reason she tried to take out Rhea was for revenge. The best revenge would be that she wins the title, and she's holding the title when Rhea comes back.
And it makes sense. And then the only fight you could kind of put in line for now would be Liv against Morgan, Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch, which because they have history with one another.
Yeah,
that would make sense. I don't know how far off Becky is from coming back, but yeah. But I don't know. If,
we're also forgetting, and she hasn't been around for a while, but Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, she's not bad either.
I know she's been fighting she's had an illness or something, I believe.
Yeah, something with her skin.
Yeah, something. Yeah, so she hasn't been around for a little bit, but another person that you might, you could throw in there again, because any way I look at it, I look at the champion, whoever wins it is a placeholder, which is why I don't think it's going to be a Jade. And I really don't think it'll be a Bianca. But if you want to have a name on the title, then I could see it being more Bianca, because then you could have somebody do something and move her off into a feud when Rhea comes back quicker than anybody else. So that's kind of my thinking about the whole thing there. Let's see. What else do we got? I think we hit everything there. Oh, Chad Gable turns on Sami Zayn.
Finally.
Yes, I thought it was pretty interesting. He went over to the wife, and then he picked him up and dropped him on the back of his head there. So it was I'm not upset about it. I like it. And he kept locking on the ankle lock.
Kurt Angle style, baby.
Hey, you snap, buddy.
Gotta snap like Kurt Angle, like back in the day.
You only have it for so long, So that finally happens. We'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do like so far, and I may be wrong here, but since Gunther lost the title, no mention of him.
He's probably taking a break.
No, it is, but it's also allowing people to forget. You just look, he was champion for so long. You're pushing Sami Zayn so much in the Chad Gable thing to where you don't miss Gunther that much by saying, wait, what happened to the guy behind him? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he has no doubt he has like a little flashing box behind him. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It feels like I'm in SmackDown right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some things, man. Look, check this out. Can I show you something?
Sure, go ahead. Oh, he has another belt back there. I didn't know you had another.
Hey, I got the X. I got the TNA X division and the Ring of Honor.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see it, all the damn thing.
Oh, nice.
You know who that is?
That Bryan Danielson?
Yep. That's the original.
Yeah,
the original American Dragon.
He looks really young right there. Looks nice. I mean, I'm happy that Chad Gable finally turned heel. It was about damn time. And I think that they did a good job because they were showing, Zammy hugging and all that stuff. It's a young Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
NXT style. Yep. I think at the end of the day, it leads up to obviously a rematch between those two. Now, my question is, what are they going to do with Alpha Academy? Is Alpha Academy going to now turn heel as well? Or are they going to start talking to him and be like, hey, what are you doing, Chad? And then all of a sudden, it might develop. What kind of storyline can they come up with this? Because now
here's the interesting thing, because it reminds me of another storyline that's going on over in SmackDown.
Okay.
The Good Brothers and Machine, when AJ Styles came back, right? They tried to talk to him and he was attacking LA Knight and everything else.
Yeah.
Now you've got the same thing going on over in Raw.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I just don't know that. Look, man, I love Otis, but he's a comedic man. I can't get behind him as like Ivar. I always look at him as a rough and tough guy.
Yes.
Otis, I always look at as that guy because when he's hitting his belly and he doing the worm and Like that's Otis. Even when they're trying to push him as the bad guy, Otis like just doesn't bring the same to me. Like I think you have to keep him babyface. I just don't know. Like you're saying, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the interaction.
Yeah,
Because then does he turn on them? Say without them knowing he's turning on them. Like I'm going to train you guys, and then he just beats them up. And also one of the other things is think about this. When the interview happened, he's training with the Creed brothers, not Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see the Creed brothers change.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it'll be Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, and then the Creed brothers will feud with Alpha, what we call Alpha Academy now, Otis and Tozawa. And then Chad Gable will take on Sami Zayn. So you'll see Sami Zayn probably team with Otis and Tozawa in a couple of Raws or something soon.
Yep. And then what did you think about Jey Uso and the whole questioning? You know, they did kind of give us a little snippet, you know, of hey, what you think about Jimmy and possibly, you know, what's your take on it? And somebody did mention it earlier on the chat board. I honestly feel that maybe eventually I do see them possibly working together. I don't know if Jay would want to be back with his brother as tag team, because I think Jay is riding a really, really good high right now. Like he's popular, the whole, you know, yeet and all that stuff. And I think that they need to keep that going with him for momentum, because eventually I feel he's going to eventually be headlining, you know, for one of the belts. Obviously, I know he's going against Damian Priest, but still, I even think bigger than that, you know? So like, I don't see Jimmy coming in and tagging with him again, but I do see Jimmy going ahead and maybe asking for his help and stuff like that. I do feel.
I don't even see that.
Really?
I see Jimmy getting beat down and Jay making the save. Not Jimmy asking, but Jay just doing it. Yeah. And then they team up after that for a match. You know, like I said, I agree with you. I don't think they go back to being a tag team, but I think you'll see a couple more tag matches with the Usos, maybe against Solo and Tama Tonga. And then Jacob Fatu is signed, but he hasn't debuted yet. So what layer does he debut under? Because that would be the one, because this, going back to what we were talking about before, I don't think Roman Reigns is calling the shots.
You think it's Solo?
I think Solo has gone rogue and made his new bloodline.
I don't know, man. For something is telling me that I think Roman is still calling the shots, and I think just Solo is now they're just weeding out Paul Heyman. I think that's what they're doing.
That's why I think Paul Heyman is going to be Roman's ears right now, and then Roman's going to come back and confront Solo, and that's where Jacob Fatu comes in, and then Jimmy Uso returns. They get beat down. And then ultimately, I believe Jey Uso returns to save Jimmy and Roman. And then it's 3-on-3 Bloodline Civil War. And then the final boss arrives and shows that he was pulling the strings of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. And now Roman Reigns becomes your babyface leader of the Bloodline, Rock the heel with his faction, and now you've got the Bloodline feuding for each other. No titles needed.
I have it. Paul Heyman getting kicked out. Paul Heyman joining the Judgment Day, which will eventually lead up to Survivor Series, where it will be Judgment Day versus the Bloodline in that Civil War match. And then
the Civil War has got to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. Civil War is not Bloodline against.
Doesn't matter.
That's Game of Thrones, man.
Oh, even better. And then obviously The Rock comes just for WrestleMania, just to face Cody Rhodes.
No, because he doesn't have to wrestle. He just shows up, speaks his speak, and leaves. He's got his goons. The goons are Solo Sikoa. Oh God, we're gonna put Paul Heyman in a shark cage up above the ring and fight for him.
I think that's a good idea. That's an amazing idea, actually.
Yeah. You know, it'd be even better if he drops a cell phone down and that's used as the weapon to win.
Instead of hanging a Money in the Bank briefcase, you hang Paul Heyman up there.
Paul Heyman by his jacket coat, and he's just dangling. Hey!
Who's gonna win, Paul?
Woo!
Who's gonna win the Wiseman?
I don't get paid enough for this.
Look at that. Bounce has a good point. NWO Black versus NWO Wolfpack.
Yeah, no, as I'm playing it out in my head, I feel like you could do your own angle with just the Bloodline and the Samoan Dynasty.
But wouldn't you want to see the Judgment Day versus the Bloodline? Especially with the new people around? I like it, bro. Especially if you got Damian Priest now.
I just don't think the Judgment Day's lasting that long, man.
Bro, the Judgment Day is lasting huge because they got my boy Dominic Mysterio. Even though, God damn it, that Andrade El Idolo won. I have no idea why he won. I was so happy that they beat him down. God damn it. Then here comes Ricochet like an idiot trying to save him. Ricochet should be one that should be sent to NXT. Send him back to NXT, God damn it.
Why he's so mad? He's so mad. He's one of our bald brethren. Ricochet's part of the bald brethren group.
True.
We should be going for him.
But before I was bald, I had hair like Dominic Mysterio. So
no, you did not. I want to see proof that you had hair like Dominic Mysterio.
I'm not going to show anybody proof.
The Trapio, I need pictures. DJ Memo, need pictures.
Mimo doesn't have any pictures.
Memo, pictures, please. No, why do people hate on the ring announcer, man?
That's right, Josh. You send his ass back to NXT. Send him his ass over there and send her too, goddammit. Even though I like her though. I
like her, man. Well, because she brings some personality to ring announcing, and it's not just like, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, one fall with a 45-minute time limit. I mean, come on.
I like her. She's not bad.
I like the way she changes her voice for each one, man. I like that she gets lost in the moment and starts crying when a fantastic moment happens.
I would have.
I mean, you got Pat McAfee yeeting all over himself.
Oh, man, damn! Why you gotta say it like that? Why you say it like that? Like
that's what he says. You didn't hear him when he comes off the desk. Like, oh man, I yeeted all over myself.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about was our boy Sheamus coming back.
Yeah, I'm happy he's back. I just, man,
you could tell that he was off.
You can tell it was a neck injury, and you can tell he's lost a little bit of the muscle
that he had.
Yeah, man.
He looks chunky, bro.
Chunky. That's the thing, man. Like I'm so happy he's back. I just hope he's not pushing it, man.
He looked.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hoping he's just not there to, push it too much. Because neck injuries, man,
those are dangerous.
Those are dangerous, especially in wrestling, man. Because it's not just, you're always trying to brace yourself, but you never know that one time where it just, hey, you don't rotate correctly. You don't get the push off you think you're going to get. You just land bad.
Well,
and your neck just snaps, and that's it, man.
Look how long Adam Copeland was out.
Yeah.
So he was out for a while. It was serious.
I mean, your neck injuries are no joke, buddy. I mean, Big E came back after his 2 years and said, he's pain free, thank goodness, but not cleared yet. But again, he's happy. I mean, hell, he was ring announcing for what was he on? One of the MMAs.
He was
Pro Fighting League, I think it was. He was announcing.
How about he's always said that he's come out before saying that if he can't come back to wrestle, that he was fine with what he was able to achieve.
Yeah, and I think WWE uses him perfectly. I love the part of him during the WrestleMania on those pre-shows, the way they're doing it now. If they're going to do it that way, I love him being on there because he gives the side of the fan and of somebody that's been in the business, like it's not just storyline driven. Like I felt the WrestleMania panels were so much better because they felt like it was me and you sitting up there debating. It wasn't.
Well, CM Punk did a phenomenal job in that.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like they all spoke like fans, like watching the product, and as a fan, kind of what they instead of being like, "Oh, this is what you're gonna have to say. This is how we need to present this match." No, they went out there. They discussed things. They talked about it like me and you would on our show, and it felt real. It's same thing with the game day. Like Pat McAfee, like I felt like when he went to game day, it changes a little the monotonous stuff where it's always like this, and that's what that felt like. It felt like for the first time that I can remember, I wasn't watching the same vignettes I watched the 6 weeks building up to WrestleMania. And then I had to watch an hour of the same damn vignettes to get to the match, to right before the match, they play the same damn vignette.
Yeah.
It was new stuff. It was interviews. It felt like a game day. Like, again, we talked about the guy who took over was game day. That's what it felt like. Hell, they had the announcer guy doing the stories behind the seat, like sitting down with the wrestlers and getting their takes on things. It's just a different feel. It feels like, again, one of the things I always, at least I was taught, is like, you don't talk at people, you talk with them. You make everybody feel part of the conversation, so they feel like they're part of the conversation, not just barking at them. And that's one of the things where I felt like this WrestleMania changed, because the show at the beginning pumped up the actual night 1 and night 2 better than any pre-show I think I've watched up to that point.
Yeah. No, they did a phenomenal job, man. And they've been doing it, and they've been hitting it in every aspect, man. Not only when it came to WrestleMania, but even afterwards, like no Rock, but it still is very entertaining. We have a lot to talk about, and it looks like they haven't lost a step, which is kind of like what we kind of had, like, felt like maybe they were gonna lose a step here and there, but they made it. And then not only that, but they are also doing something that AEW used to do back in the day, which is they're using social media. They're using, like, that's one thing I do miss, and I don't want to go back too much to AEW, but that's one thing I do
finish with AEW too, because we got to do our dynasty picks tonight.
Oh, that's true. One thing I do miss of AEW was their good use of social media. Remember what was Chris Jericho's group back in the day? That
Inner
he used
Circle?
the Inner Circle. That was when Jericho was blowing up. I love Jericho. That was the Jericho I love, the Inner Circle Jericho. And they would have those little, like they did the Brady Bunch type of social media things. That was fun. But now you see that in the WWE. You don't see that so much in the AEW. I mean, obviously the Dustin Rhodes, his whole promo of him felt passionate and everything, but we all kind of knew what was going to happen. But look, if you look at Rikishi, who's not even like being involved, but he's posting stuff saying, yo, believe that. You're looking at Liv Morgan and you're seeing her go ahead and post stuff saying, hey, look, she just posted, I think maybe today or yesterday. I don't know. I think maybe she just
yesterday.
Posted
You saw what she posted too, right? Buddy Murphy sends out, don't worry, I got at Rhea Ripley. I'll make her bigger, stronger when she returns. And and Liv Morgan quote tweets it and says, LOL.
Yeah, she does. And not only that, but she posted the video of when Rhea Ripley injured her. Mm-hmm. So it was like you when blindsiding her and all that stuff. So they're making good use of social media.
Also, if you watched last night, I believe they turned Liv Morgan heel last night.
Oh, absolutely. You have to turn it. Now, let me ask you this, because as soon as I saw that and I thought about Liv Morgan turning heel, there was a girl that came up in my head, and I was like, where has she been? And I haven't seen her. And is she still signed to WWE? And that is Alexa Bliss. Where is Alexa Bliss?
Now, here's the interesting thing with this, okay? So again, read under the tea leaves, you know how wrestling is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is this. If you noticed recently, there's been a lot of things happening on Raw and SmackDown, little QR codes, you're catching my drift?
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is they are going to bring back Uncle Howdy with Alexa Bliss, with Eric Rowan, and with Braun Strowman when his neck is healed. That is going to be the group that will carry on the Bray Wyatt legacy, if you shall say. So that's why I believe you haven't seen or heard a lot of her, because they're waiting for that to roll out. I believe, and again, tomorrow she'll pop up, but that is what I understand, because they want this. They're getting input through what Bray was doing in writing, I guess. He wrote down a lot of ideas and things. So they're trying to use that and bring and put all that together so they can try to make this, what Bray would want.
Now that you bring that up, I gotta bring something up to you guys, and you might get upset at me. The fans might get upset at me, but I saw something that it just caught my eye, and I was just thinking out there. You know how I was talking about how the biggest match for Jade Cargill would be obviously Bianca Belair, and then after that would be Charlotte Flair, and you went and you said it was Rhea Ripley, right? During her moment, I don't know if you saw this, but Rhea Ripley went ahead and she showed her eyes and it went white, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, when she looked up, like between her hair.
Yeah.
At the during the promo you're talking about, right? In the ring.
Yes. Sir, if you want to get Rhea Ripley to become a megastar, you make her, and don't get mad at me, guys. You make her the female Undertaker. That's what you do with Rhea Ripley. You make her the female Undertaker, and I promise you, she'll blow up.
But in what aspect do you mean the female Undertaker?
You start developing her character to mimic similar to that same type of persona that Undertaker was. We have the Undertaker, but we've never had the Undertaker of a woman. We've never had that. It would be something new.
Again, I think the reason the Undertaker is who he is because it happened during that kayfabe period where you didn't know, like he said, for 10 years, he would leave in the ambulance to get in a car blocks away so that nobody knew, kind of what the Undertaker was. And I'm not against your idea, Frank. Yeah, I like it. I just don't know how you do that in this day and age, like in this period of, social media and everything. And because again, by the time social media comes in, Undertaker's cool. You've had the American Badass Undertaker, you had Kane and Undertaker, Dead Man Inc., the Brothers of Destruction. By then it's become cool. So when you see the Undertaker, but if it wasn't for that first period of the Undertaker, that doesn't exist.
But I mean, you could.
I just don't know that you can do that in this day and age.
You could still twist that angle. You could still twist that angle because right now, if you kind of look at a couple things going on right now, she's actually out of the Judgment Day right now, right? So when she comes back to Judgment Day, she's not the same mommy that we originally knew. So that's the first twist that they could do to start removing her and making her bigger than what she's gonna be. And then after that, she starts getting this evil type of like mentality because she got injured, and you could also throw other angles of other people who are trying to injure her consistently, and then it obviously turns out to like, okay, now I'm no longer the mommy, no, I'm no longer this, now I am like this dead woman walking instead of dead man walking, this dead woman walking where I am evil, but at the same time I am like a persona that nobody can, understand me, and I have that, that aura, which what Undertaker would always bring when he came out. Like, it would just make it just like something out of this world because you don't see that. You've never seen that in a woman. And then she uses the same little trademark, like we saw it in her promo or in her segment, that she was rolling her eyes. As soon as I saw that, the first thing that came in my head, I was like, wow, this girl actually could be like the Undertaker. And I think people would buy it. Her version. And yes, social media is going to be involved, but she can go ahead and make her social media very dark instead of very lovable and very, and now it has to be commitment from her. Obviously, this is
it's going to take commitment from her, and then also
huge commitment from her because, like you said,
but the darkness that you have, the stuff that made the Undertaker cool, can you get away with now?
Yes. Look at Bray Wyatt, man. Bray Wyatt was cool.
But remember, the Undertaker put Stone Cold on his cross and hung him.
You could
with
do that.
Stephanie McMahon as well. The same thing. Like there was things that led to the Undertaker, you know, and then also the other thing that led to the Undertaker being the Undertaker was also, and this might be something that she already has, but the deep-rooted respect in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like that was more about the Undertaker than anything else. And I just like Rhea's already lost at WrestleMania, so you can't get that going.
True.
I mean, you can turn some things, I guess, and make her a darker character.
But you have
you know how dark you can do it. And then the other thing that I will say onto that is, how much darker can you make her character if and when you do the Uncle Howdy, Bray, you know, that segments, like they're going to be on 2 different shows.
That's one thing. So that's a positive
thing. You can't have all that on one show.
And don't forget, Undertaker at one point in time, he had to go against Undertaker, and that sold a lot. Dark versus dark. And then also you had Kane, and that was another dark person. And if there's one company that knows how to make it work, it's WWE. Just saying.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to think how you go from where she is now. Because to be honest, right now, when you bring her back, the fans are going to want to cheer their asses off for her.
That's why you flip
That's
it.
That's going to be the thing where you've got to try to
flip it.
Either that or beforehand you start laying people out.
I feel that
be set up for her.
What tends to happen to a wrestler when they're out for a while? Their momentum starts to fall, right?
They want to reinvent themselves. It's one of 2 things happen. They lose all their momentum, or they reinvent themselves to come back for something bigger.
Yes, sir.
But the groundwork has to start being laid
and
beforehand.
She has to be committed to it, because she's not gonna be able to do the same stuff that she does on social media, which is the hard part, in my opinion, because she is, her whole dom and her relationship with Buddy Matthews and all that stuff. So
yeah, but also the other thing that you could do is you could use the dom thing to the because if she goes dark and does whatever to dom, that ends everything.
It's a lot of, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm glad that you like the idea, and I'm glad, no doubt, also like it too.
My only thing is how in this day and age and again, because by the time the Undertaker got to the social media age, he was already cool as hell.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? So all that was built in the past. How do you do that in today? And I get Bray Wyatt did it, but Bray Wyatt was just different.
And so
it was dark and it was different. It was entertaining and it was different. How do you do that with Rhea Ripley to get to that, I guess? Because again, when you're saying the female Undertaker, that takes on a different expectation to me.
Yeah, it does. It makes her
expectation.
She could honestly,
female Undertaker. That's a big ass expectation. That's a lot to put on somebody.
She can become the all-time favorite female wrestler for a lot of fans out there. In my opinion, if she was able to do this, she would outgrow Jake Cargo. She will outgrow a lot of these women. She could stand by herself. She could headline WrestleMania as a female.
And think about this match: the Queen of Darkness versus the Storm. Just saying. You said it didn't have any money. I'm just saying.
Well, there you go. But
I'm just saying,
she has to make her turn. To become.
Terry brought up something, by the way. Do you guys think Matt Hardy's returning to WWE? His contract is up in AEW.
We spoke about this last week, right? A little bit.
Interesting change. Talk
to me. I haven't heard anything.
So on the QR code, apparently last night, if you looked it up, there's some hints that Mr. Hardy might be a part of this new group. To come back and be part of the Bray legacy. I'm not sure what they're going to call it's Uncle Howdy and that there. And that to me would be the part where you could put him in there. Because he could be like a leader. He could be a leader of all the.
I don't think he'll be a leader. He'll be like another follower in there. Uncle Howdy has to be the leader.
Yes, but Uncle Howdy can't talk.
I understand that, but he's still the leader.
So maybe he'll be the mouthpiece then. Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay. Yeah. That makes
the
sense.
mouthpiece or the veteran of the group to be more. Because I don't think you want Rowan. Again, all this is hearsay or everything else. Believe half of what you see and nothing of what you hear is what I always say about pro wrestling. But Eric Rowan's not a talker. Braun's not a talker.
No.
Alexa Bliss can talk. And again, if they let Bo Dallas talk or Uncle Howdy, he can talk. I just don't know how you make that character talk without ending the mystique. He's like this big guy that's kind of just in the shadows.
Yeah, but
now he talks like Bo Dallas.
It was the same thing with Kane. We didn't know Kane could talk, and eventually Kane
for
spoke.
the longest time, he did this thing where he had.
But he did it. See, that's the only thing that sometimes it throws me off with you, Sean, is that you always are so stuck to like you're always in that lane. It's never straight, man. You could always make left and turns and come back into the lane.
But look, it's not a Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt could talk and be Bray. Uncle Howdy, have you heard Bo Dallas talk?
No, I have not. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a higher like Bray was kind of like a deep and eerie talk when he talked. Bo was more not a high pitch, but it's higher than what Bray was. And when he talks, it's just like
you could do
it. To me, it would take away from the Uncle Howdy character. Now they do what they want to do, so that's all I'm saying on that end. All right, we need to get to AEW Dynasty, and then also tomorrow night on Dynamite, just announced by Will Ospreay, the Swiss Superman will take on Captain SX.
Wow,
Claudio Castagnoli against Will Ospreay.
Okay. Just again, these fights, bro, that could definitely can do so much more better outside of Dynamite. To be honest with you, but whatever, it is what it is.
Well, again, this one at least will make a little bit of sense because it's Daniel Bryan, a test again for. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to make something up here. All right.
I can tell. All right, talk to me. You got the lineup, or do you?
Hold on, I'm into the lineup now. I've got the odds as well.
I got the lineup. If you wanted me to give you the lineup,
I got the odds, man. We're going with the odds here too, buddy. We're putting it all here. We're putting it on the line. This is your chance to bet on pro wrestling. Trios match: Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe. Minus 400 against the House of Black, a plus 250. Who do you got at AEW Dynasty?
I want the House of Black to win, but it's going to be Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston that win this fight. That's just me. I think they always get it wrong.
I think looking at everything, it does. But it'd be perfect if Malachi Black pinned Adam Copeland.
Yeah, because
now you set up for the TNT title.
Yep.
Malachi Black's already beat him once. Go that way. But I kind of have you have your TNT champion and the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, and then Eddie Kingston on a team. I don't know that you have them lose.
Yeah, especially with the momentum that Mark Briscoe has right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with you, unfortunately. The singles match. It's kind of odd, but I guess Will Ospreay minus 1,000 versus Bryan Danielson plus 500.
The plus is that they're the underdog, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what is
I think everybody understands what this match is. This is Bryan Danielson giving Will Ospreay his signature of approval to become the face of AEW. That's what I feel like this is. But it would be a perfect time for Tony Khan if they want to do something crazy. Have Bryan Danielson go full heel again here and change it up and beat Will Ospreay.
They could drag this.
No, you 100%. 100% can. But after watching the Eddie Kingston thing and then watching the build up to this, it's almost like Bryan Danielson's in the mode of I'll just build the stars and leave it for you to figure out.
This Bryan Danielson is so annoying. Yeah, you're right, man. I would want to see Bryan Danielson win and then carry on with the story. Maybe they eventually, if AEW was these are two of your biggest draws right now. Like, come on, man. You need to. I wish they would drag this out, but they're not.
Yeah.
Well, Ospreay's gonna win.
TBS championship match. It will be the champion, Julia Hart, a -500 versus Willow Nightingale +300.
I think here is where you see Willow Nightingale take the turn, and I think she wins it because eventually it's going to lead up to her against Mercedes Moné.
See, I think there's going to be shenanigans in this match. I think somehow, whether she means to or not, Mercedes Moné costs Willow Nightingale the match somehow. And Julia Hart keeps it by somehow, like Willow gets sidetracked with Mercedes. Something plays out and Julia keeps the title because now it kind of keeps that Julia strong in this as could she be the one attacking Mercedes? Mercedes in her mind thinking, you broke my ankle. You're the one that attacked me, going after Willow. There's just so many ways to keep this going that I think you can do that in this match. But also understand it's Tony Khan, so Willow Nightingale might win in a squash and then challenge Mercedes Moné right there on the spot.
And not only that, but you could see a turn by Willow, and Willow could have been the one that hit Mercedes Moné.
So, one more time. Say it one more time.
Maybe Willow was the one that, caused.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, I was saying the way they left it, it could be Sky Blue. It could be Julia Hart. It could be Chris Statlander. It could be Willow Nightingale. It could be somebody we're not even thinking about.
I when you see that type of thing, I get the vibe that it's a good, like a baby face turning into a heel, and that's why I think Willow wins it. I think Willow was the one who hit Mercedes Moné or planned it that way. Mercedes got hurt. That's just me though.
I personally think Willow will remain the baby face. I think Mercedes turns heel. That's the way I'm thinking. Because to me, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, however you want to look at her, is a lot better heel than she is a baby face. Just saying.
But then why would they attack her? Why did they attack her then like that? Because that's like showing like she's a baby face getting attacked by.
Yeah, because I mean, again, you're going to show her sympathy, but that's why I think it could be Julia Hart. But then I think back to AEW Dynamite. Right? AEW Dynamite. Remember one thing that happened, and I go back to the Sky Blue thing. She got hit with the mist. She turned dark.
She did.
Right? Willow Nightingale interrupts Adam Copeland about to get missed by Julia Hart, but the mist is all over her. The black mist is all over her.
Well, she already got missed once already.
Okay. Well, this week, she had the mist on her, which set up for the tag team match. So do they try to play on that? Was that a little nugget that she's going, again, you may be onto something. I just think if you keep Julia Hart the champion, you keep a lot of avenues open instead of us knowing, okay, it's Willow.
I just think
if Willow wins the title, it's exactly what you're saying.
I just think Tony Khan is not too creative, and I think he wants to eventually get the belt off of Julia Hart. So I think that's why he will go that easy route.
They misused that stable so bad.
They do, man. And Julia Hart. I mean, she's growing momentum again, but I don't know. I loved it when she won it. Then it's kind of been like this with her when it comes to that belt. I don't know why. Yeah. It hasn't been like high. How like mommy's always riding high. Look at freaking Toni Storm is riding high.
Also the machine behind her. I feel like she gets overshadowed by Toni Storm. Look at the production that's put into Toni Storm. Do you think that's Toni Storm like paying for all this black and white when it's her and then color when it's somebody else? Like that's the promotion from the machine. And unfortunately, Julia, yes, they turned the lights off for her.
Yeah.
And they turned the lights back on for her. But like, I mean, it reminds me, honestly, the TBS championship. Who was the TBS champion?
Before
Jade, right?
No, Chris Statlander. And then
Chris Statlander, but Jade before that, right?
Yes.
And what did Jade get when she was TBS champion?
Nothing.
Exactly.
That's why earlier today you were saying every time Jade comes out, it's 20,000 times better in WWE than when she came out in AEW.
It's almost like that belt is like it's the secondary title. I get it. It's not the AEW Women's Championship, but man, make it mean something.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Christian made the TNT title mean something again.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? And Adam Cole is doing a good job with keeping it that way. So it's cool. AEW International Championship champion Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is the betting favorite at -200. The champions at +150.
Wait, when did they set up this fight?
Oh, this was on Collision. You missed it?
This was on Collision?
Yeah, man.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
he came out when they were attacking somebody, and then they ended up laying him out.
You know what? I actually still have Collision recorded. I'm gonna rewatch it because I don't remember that part. But I must have been like cooking or something. When I was watching. I mean, remember I record Collision because
I didn't watch Collision. I saw it in my social media. That's where I saw it.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
I saw the terms. I am not gonna be one of those 216 that is watching that show right now.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Get me invested into it, then I'll be back.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and you got my wrestling fans. I'm sorry. I know I'm a big fan of the Magician, but I was watching the UFC fights. Sorry, bro. It was really good. Those UFC fights were really good. I was like, I gotta watch those fights, and then I'll watch Collision.
Although they turned into a goddamn AEW pay-per-view too.
What?
2 matches to go at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So 2 fights.
Yeah, I saw that. Going back,
Yep.
Roderick Strong against Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly's the favorite, right?
Yes. Yeah, he is. He's the betting favorite. I guess they're thinking he's coming back from injury. He's going to get the push. Huh? I just think there's no rush to give him the title. You cheat him out.
Yeah. Why would they give him the favorite? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if you make the change that quickly, I mean, you kind of diminished Roderick Strong's title.
Exactly.
And Orange Cassidy, because that's who he beat, right? Did he beat Cassidy?
Yes. And how long did Orange Cassidy have the belt? He had it for friggin' years. Look, man, I'm gonna go against the betting odds. I'm gonna go with my heart says. If I was AEW, if I was Tony Khan,
oh boy, here's where we always mess up. Here's where we mess up.
Yeah, I always go with I'm gonna say Roderick Strong wins, but I'm pretty sure Colorado is gonna win it because it just makes no sense. But I did believe Roderick Strong deserves to win it, to retain. That's just me, though.
I believe the better story would be Roderick Strong winning and Kyle O'Reilly chasing.
Yeah.
Now, Roderick Strong not winning clean, but you have Undisputed Kingdom. You've got Wardlow now being their like muscle. Yeah. So you can do a way to get, cheat Kyle O'Reilly out and then have him chase it for a while. But I also know how this works, so I'm going Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I have the feeling. I guarantee Kyle O'Reilly is going to win, and then that would be another L for the Undisputed. Like, how would that make any sense? But whatever.
At this point, you might as well just disband the group.
You should.
AEW Continental Championship, Okada -800 versus Pac +425.
Come on, man! All day Okada, man. There's no way Okada loses that match.
No way. AEW World Tag Team Championship ladder match. When did it become a ladder match?
When the hell did it become a ladder match?
Okay, well, hey, it's a ladder match. Young Bucks -300, FTR +200.
Is that are they gonna steal our idea and put like a fake Paul Heyman up there as well or something? Is that what they're doing? No. Man,
it's gonna be a CM Punk though.
It could be Jack Perry or something. FTR.
See, this is where I think your idea and what we've always said, this is where you bring Jack Perry back. FTR's got the Bucks laid out. FTR, one of them's climbing up the ladder. Jack Perry comes in, pushes the ladder over. The Young Bucks win the title. The scapegoat returns. Cry me a river is the last words you hear as the pay-per-view match goes on to the next one.
I say FTR Young Bucks are gonna win it, and then all of a sudden you hear the CM Punk song come out, and CM Punk comes and knocks Young Bucks out, and then goes back to WWE.
So good.
It makes sense. I just think that they're gonna make the mistake and give it to FTR.
Why'd make this a ladder match?
I have no idea.
There's got to be some kind of shenanigans to where it's going to cost them. That's my thinking.
Was that on Collision? Did they not? Maybe it was on Collision over there. I gotta watch Collision again. I don't know.
Watch Collision. Get back to me.
I'll let you know.
We'll do an addendum on the end of the show. We'll download it. We'll put an addendum and be like, okay, we watched Collision. Here's what happened.
Anybody in the chat knows why they made that a ladder match?
All right, AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm minus 400. Thunder Rosa plus 250.
Damn, they have Thunder Rosa as the underdog.
Yep. I just think everybody's in love with this story of Toni Storm. Nobody wants it to end. Nobody wants the black and white to end and Toni Storm kissing everybody and
yeah, tits up and everything.
Yeah, tits up.
Toni
Slapping
Storm.
the titties.
I think Toni Storm wins it. I think she beats Thunder Rosa.
I think the Thunder Rosa Deonna Purrazzo thing means something.
Yeah,
that's what happened. I think it, and
maybe Purrazzo gets involved in it.
Yeah, I
too.
think something. Maybe she gets involved on both of them, and then it just, one Toni Storm falls back over or something. I don't know. And then the last match, the AEW World Championship match, Swerve Strickland minus 200 against Samoa Joe at plus 150. So it's almost like a pick'em. It's kind of the same as Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. It's kind of like a pick'em.
Swerve, man. Gotta go to Swerve.
You know what, man? I honestly, unless there's some huge debut that Swerve's going to go and make money with some other way, he beats Samoa Joe. I'm not talking about Hangman Page coming back and costing Swerve. I mean, like, it's got to be like somebody I don't know who could it even be, but
Jon Moxley. No,
God, no. Please.
He's coming back tomorrow, baby.
He's busy defending the IWGP Championship now.
Oh, that will be perfect. The IWGP champion versus the AEW champion for the next pay-per-view fight.
That's right. Bring all the belts from everywhere. We're going to throw the AEW champion, the ROH champion, the IWGP champion, all in a match. AAA, bring them over. Who's our champion?
What was that pay-per-view that they have like New Japan and them going one-on-one? What's that? Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door. When is Forbidden Door? When do they?
I want to say it's.
Is it the next one?
No way.
Is it the next one?
They've got like 9 pay-per-views this year.
They do have a lot. My brother sent me a message showing me. Oh, there's one in Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh, me and my brother are gonna go
at the end of the year.
Yes, me and my brother, guys. I know. We're going a little bit long. 2 announcements. There's the pay-per-view in Orlando for AEW, and there's a Monday Night Raw coming to Sunrise, baby.
Yep, August.
Hell yeah. I won't be able to go to that one though. I'm gonna be out of town. I'll be in California, but I definitely am gonna make my way over to that AEW pay-per-view.
Looks like Forbidden Door was in June last year, so I'm guessing around the same time.
So then, so Forbidden Door will be the next one, right?
I guess if it's gonna be.
So it makes sense. Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland.
That's crazy.
That makes perfect sense. No wonder they're bringing Jon Moxley. No wonder he won that belt, and no wonder he probably is showcasing himself. If that's the next pay-per-view.
June 30th in Long Island.
Oh, Jon Moxley all day.
Oh, MJF.
Oh, that's true. Because Long Island.
Long Island.
That's right. You're right. Moxley's Detroit, right? I think Moxley's Detroit. Is he?
Ohio.
Oh, he is Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, I knew he was somewhere up there. Yeah. Oof. But do you think? No, but you know what? MJF comes as a surprise. He's not in that card. Whoever is that main event fight.
Swerve wins the belt, holds it up,
and then here comes MJF.
And then MJF's music hits.
Makes perfect sense.
And you know what? Honestly, since what happened with Joe and him, he could just run out and not even attack. He could just run out and start kicking Joe's ass.
That makes perfect sense. Good thing we looked at that. Good call on looking at that. Yeah. Which would make perfect sense for MJF to come back. Which would help AEW.
Look at that. No Doubt says, I'm down to go to Orlando. Maybe we should do a show in Orlando the Saturday before the pay-per-view.
I'm down. If you guys are down, I'm going. Me and my brother, we talked about it. Mimo doesn't want to come. I already told Mimo, I was like, Mimo, because my brother was the one that sent it to me, and he's like, Frankie, look what's coming into Orlando. I was like, holy crap, it's another pay-per-view.
Oh,
and
not Forbidden Door. I mean the AEW pay-per-view. Sorry.
Yeah,
not,
it's not
Door's
Forbidden.
Long Island. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not the Forbidden Door. That's not the one that's coming here to Orlando. But there's one coming to Orlando, and I was
It's
like,
Full Gear that's coming to Orlando.
There you go. Yeah, they've had a couple. They had a. I don't know if it was Full Gear. They had another pay-per-view there in Orlando too. Maybe it was Full Gear. But it is. I didn't know it's a short drive for you. Well, for me, no doubt, it's what, like a 3-hour drive, maybe. Yeah, like 2-3 hour drive for me from where I stay. But I'm down.
No, it's gonna be World's End.
Oh, interesting.
Is that the one in Orlando?
There's hold on.
Yeah, it's coming to Orlando, December 28th.
Yeah, it's in December.
Yep, December 28th.
Around that Christmas time.
Yeah, maybe we'll find an area up there, do a show the Saturday night. Oh no, it's Saturday, December 28th. So maybe we do an afternoon show, a pre-show there, and then go to the show.
Yeah, just let me know. But I'm down to go because I remember my brother hit me up. Oh wow, no doubt. I didn't know you were that up north. He was telling me, Frank, you ready to go? I'm like, yo, dude, I didn't know they were having a pay-per-view over there. I was like, yep, I'm down. So we were planning on it.
And we can put together something and do a AEW pre-show there. Oh,
I like it.
Pre-show because we want to make sure we can get wherever the stadium, get something near the stadium.
Yeah.
Do a live show there, and then come on over and we all join together. We'll have the whole crew, Square Circle Digest crew, and then come on over to the what's the name of the arena? It is my God.
Where the Orlando Magic play?
Petition Financial Arena.
Is that where the Orlando Magic play?
I don't know.
AEW Orlando.
We can get rows 1. It's row V. Where's row V? I don't have a setup right now.
Yeah, World's End, Saturday, December 28th.
We can get 1 to 4 tickets for $88 a piece right now.
How much?
$88 a piece.
Damn, for a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
That is not expensive at all.
It's row V. I don't know where that row V's at. So.
I'm gonna look into them. I'm gonna look into it. Yeah, because I got it pulled up here. Dynasty is this Sunday, Missouri. Double or Nothing, the blue chip. That's when Dustin should have won the damn poker chip. Is May 26th in Vegas.
No doubt, there's a lot of us South Floridians have migrated to North Florida post 2008.
That's true, man. And not only a lot of people left, especially after COVID, they went up north. It's just more cheaper, bro. It just makes sense.
Oh, definitely. Terry says AEW's got too many titles.
They do.
I mean, their whole pay-per-view, I think there's what every there's a champion in every match on that show. Even the matches that aren't you got the AEW TNT champion and the ROH heavyweight champion in the one.
Yeah.
And then
the only one doesn't have a belt is Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay.
Yeah, Danielson and Will Ospreay.
It's the only one. All the other ones, everybody has a belt in them.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what else we got. Sean, what do you think about Jon Moxley winning the IWGP Championship? Hey, I like it. I mean,
good for him.
If they want to be doing all that travel, man, back and forth, Japan and here, I know that at least they're doing a lot more shows over here now, so that's good and everything else. But it's one of those things where, I mean, Tony Khan's got an okay relationship with them until he steals more people, I guess. Because, dude, let's be honest, man. If I'm a businessman, and we say we're gonna have a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and then less than a year later, you've taken Okada, you've taken
Mercedes.
Well, Mercedes was another one now.
Will
Ospreay, Jay White, Shibata, Juice Robinson. I mean, look at you've taken all that talent and what do we get out of it? Yes, there's a talent exchange, but if there's a show on the same day, who are you putting them on?
Man,
I just don't understand what the business thinking about that is. So, but hey, it's cool. It's cool as wrestling fans because again, it gives us a lot of wrestling to sit there and watch, man.
What happened to Jay White? I haven't
visa issues.
Oh, that's
he couldn't be in Canada for any of the shows So that's why they were doing the thing, videotaping him at houses and everything else.
Okay.
Because apparently something with his visa issue, he couldn't go to Canada. I don't know what the whole thing is there.
I'm gonna look at tickets for World's End. Let you know.
Yeah, man. Let me know. We'll figure it out. We get the tickets settled, then I'll call around over there too. Find a sports bar or something. We can just do like maybe a 2 to 4 show and then leave and go right there.
Wrestling. Traveling for
Wrestling.
traveling for wrestling.
Traveling for wrestling, but we're gonna feel like load up the U-Haul, baby. Load up the U-Haul.
That'd be cool. Imagine we rent like a Winnebago and then we pick up all the wrestling. Hey, let's go pick up, no doubt. Let's go pick up the
yes. We'll leave on Thursday. We'll get everybody picked up and
let's go.
And then we'll go from there. All right, man. Parting thoughts, buddy.
Guys, don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to hit that like on YouTube, both on Sean Stanley's channel and also on my channel, the Frankie Fresco channel. We finally bringing back the show tomorrow. Let me talk to you. Finally, after 2-week hiatus, I don't have to DJ. So last week was a busy week, man. I was like slammed. So finally, I'm coming back tomorrow with my brother. So guys, tune in 8 o'clock. We're going to be on, but keep in mind, we're all going to be keeping you up to date as well with the Miami Heat game. I know the Heat game is going to be going on as well because they start, I think, at 7. So we will be keeping intact. I'm going to see if I could probably do like something that keeps up the scoreboard or something during the Heat segment for us. We might move the Heat segment earlier. That way we could keep track of how they're doing. Hopefully they pull that win against Philly. And then obviously you guys are more than welcome to follow us on social media. Myself, Frankie Fresco, and TikTok, X, Facebook, all social media platforms. And of course, don't forget to show us love here, of course, for the Square Circle Digest, hitting that like and of course subscribing.
All right. You can follow my YouTube channel at Stanley Media House. And you can follow me at Sean_Stanley11 on all other social media aspects. And Terry, he says, Sean, what could Tony Khan do to get AEW back on a positive track? Concentrate just on your own damn product. That's it. Concentrate on your own damn product and make it better than what it is.
Bring back MJF.
I am Sean Stanley. He is Frankie Fresco. Again, Stanley Media House YouTube channel. Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. We are out. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State.